innovated. See, the GST reforms, you want to do that. Yes, what right Commissioner rightly pointed out. This is about the great revolution of our country. After about the COVID pandemic, all the developed countries all been gone. Some, but except the one of our country, India. See, when a country, when it wants to become a developing country, when they don't have any taxes, whether it is what personal tax or what corporate tax or whatever it is, not only the country comes up like that. So they have to get the money taxes for every. Most of us are thinking that only other countries asking us maximum taxes. It is not so. But you see what the developed countries like America, UK, or even Sweden, Germany, every developed country, they are asking for more tax slabs when we compare with our Indian tax slabs. They are asking for more than 40% or 50%. See, so normally when a man gets a job in USA, you have to be thinking that when he says that I am earning about 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, you have to be thinking that he's getting what one of the 10 lakhs. It's not so. They give only about 50% of what he said is what they are getting. So when you live in what nowadays, even the people, I belong to the Commerce Department, when many of the students are working about states and also about London and UK also there. When they come and tell them about all these things, they are telling now that, so when we walk in what the Bangalore in our IT companies, we will get more than what we are getting in what we are. Certain tax slabs over there. That is why the reason being they are already become developed. See about China, Japan, everywhere they really want to know what the taxes from the people. But there are many of us what may not be knowing that there are more current countries. Not what many countries are saying. Few countries there are tax-free countries in the world. People that may take for Miami, may take for Oman, may take for Bahamas. They are not talking about any selling. There is no, even they don't know the meaning of the black belt. When I was in childhood, I thought that when I say what the Kalpana city, I thought that how what the money has become over there. Black. So black money is what? Without giving what the tax of the government, they are paying taxes on the black money. Now on the end of black money, on the check, black money, which is Krishna, what is the clear, clear, Kutala. And still countries there, black money is clear. They don't know the meaning of black money because they are not getting any taxes. Whatever money you are getting, they have it within us. You are not, it's not to give out the tax or something like that to either the concerned government. But that signal has to come in our country also. But without getting money, if you want to run about your country, you don't think that it's a very easy work. And also see, our country, when you compare it to other countries, our country is not having much natural resources. Our country is not having less population. Our country is about the number one populated country in the world. By having more population in the world, without having much natural resources, if our country is able to become one of the top 5 countries in the world, that is a success of our country. That is a success. That is the GST reforms. That is our tax reforms. That's the reason why our country is able to become one of the developing most fastest growing economies countries in the world. That's what India. That's the reason why even what GST is afraid of seeing what's happening in India and what's happening in China. And one day, within a few years, they think that US people are thinking that US president Trump is thinking that our country and also China will overtake US. That's the reason why these wars have come. They are not ready to work for God. Many people, they are not rich people. They are not ready to work hard. They are not ready to make products at a cheaper rate. So how China has become one of the powerful countries in the world? They are making the products at a cheaper rate by their hormone, by their Chinese hormone. That's the reason why they are able to give away products at the cheaper rate. That's the reason why they are coming into what the number 2 position. If you compare our country in about 1980s, our country is what richer than China. The scenario is happening with China. But even in China, India, we are seeing what the cancers, GST reforms campaign. That's the reason why everybody is what living in this country is safe. So the GST reform has to take place because we don't have much what natural resources. One of my friends told me yesterday, he told me that there's the Trump with the Nadu yeah, Mongolia, Gounder, and even African, so many of them are yeah, Karma and then natural resources. La country protection, the country they are you know, the ultimate and the country with the natural resources. Now, that's going for it. This is just now what we had on a discussion. We have to how to manage what is the gas meters in our hospital and see, by seeing what ultimately everybody constantly everything what are the same people updates on the நம்ம வெளிநாட்டுல போய் அந்த கஷ்டப்பட்டு உழைச்சி அந்த கொண்டு வந்து நம்ம நாட்டுக்கு சேர்த்து ஆனா அமெரிக்கா என்ன நினைக்குது வெளிநாட்டுக்கு போய் படையெடுத்து அவங்களோட பொருளை உடனே போடுறது that should not happen. So you should make our country to be a developed country with what by having what they putting our what should be happening. That's the reason why I'm bringing this forward to make what he's thinking about make India. He's thinking about start of India. So because we are not more populated country in the world, more than 68% of the population are below 30 years of age. So when we give one directions to all of you, surely God make our country to be able to talk or not to develop the country in the world. Surely it will happen. I think we cannot see development country India will become a development country. What during our time, maybe you all may see that what India will flourish in the world to become a development country. That's the reason why we are not taking this type of seminar. We are having what research on it or some knowledge will be one topic. If you have it, you will learn come in your life. So you have it. Will be happening. So this type of seminar will motivate you to go into the thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and guiding speech. These sessions are the most out of date academic level. Your knowledge is shared, ideas and debates, and your perspectives are explored. We move on to the first technical session of today's seminar. For this seminar, we have Mr. K. Federalism, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government Southern College, Kollam, Kerala, an eminent speaker who will guide us through the importance of GST reform, digital transformation, and cooperative federalism. Now, I request Mr. K. Federalism, Assistant Professor, Department of Banking and Insurance, Indian College, to represent the chief guest for this session.
PPT presentation. Right after. Here, okay.
ப்ரோ அந்த சின்ன டேப்ல எடுத்துங்க, சின்ன டேப்ல சேர் எடுங்க, அந்த சின்ன டேப்ல சேரையும் எடுத்து
strong academic excellence. In addition, he holds the postgraduate diploma in e-governance from Indian Institute of Information Technology Management and Kerala State Board of Technical Education. With his extensive teaching experience and expertise in commerce and finance, he has been guiding and inspiring students and scholars in the field of higher education. His academic contributions and dedication to knowledge sharing make him a highly respected research person for today's seminar. On behalf of our institution and the Department of Banking and Insurance, I feel truly in our to welcome such an eminent academician to share his valuable insights with us today. Dear students and participants, today's seminar is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to learn from his vast knowledge and experience. I encourage everyone to actively participate and make the best use of this session. Once again, I warm welcome to Dr. Amit sir to our institution. We are grateful that you accepted our invitation and agreed to enlighten us with our expertise. Thank you so much.
live பார்த்து சிஸ்டம் தான் தெரியும் என்ன பிரச்சனை
Knowledge grows when it is shared.
வீட்டு பெண்ணை அக்கௌண்ட்
Vocation wins everything. Now I would like to invite Mr. K. Ramesh sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government Arts and Science College, Mahalingam, Kerala, to deliver this insightful lecture. The stage is yours, sir.
செக் பண்ணி பார்த்தா எப்படி பார்த்தீங்க நீங்கள் எப்படி பார்த்தீங்க ஃபோன் முதல்ல செக் பண்ணணும் ப்ரோ இதான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு ப்ரோ லைக் எல்லாரும் யூடியூப்ல சர்ச் பண்ணி
So, very good morning to all of you, respected principal and chief fiscal officer, faculty members from this college, and dear students.
யூடியூப்ல லிங்க் கொடுத்துருப்பாருல்ல அதில் பாருங்க
At the very outset, I would like to express my gratitude and heartfelt thanks to the organizers of this seminar for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to make a presentation before you related to the GST reforms and the digital transformation that has taken place on account of digital GST reforms in India. And finally, the nature and extent of the cooperative federalism that we can witness today by virtue of this GST. Madam, can I continue? Thank you. So next slide. Okay, so GST, as we are all know that, and we have been discussing for the last 8 and 9 years about the GST, Goods and Services Tax. It has made tremendous changes in the realm of indirect taxation. Not only indirect taxation, but in the way where a business can do its business tax compliance. So there we can see that there is a lot of ease of doing measures that has automatically came as a result of the introduction of GST. So here, in this seminar, before the other speakers, other legislation speakers are digging into the deepest part of GST, such as the architecture of GST systems, its compliance measure, policy reforms in GST. So let me have an introductory part of GST. What it has made, what change it has made into the system of business and the environment of business in India. So what is the GST ecosystem existing and what it has resulted as a positive change in the business world. So for that purpose, I have made my research question and research objective as one of the objectives to identify the structural and administrative reforms in indirect taxation in India as a result of the introduction of GST. So there are a lot of changes taken place because of the GST introduction, and this reform is continuing. It is not a single point reform, one stage reform, but it is a reform that is continuing. It will continue also. It will also continue for the next period, in the coming generation, in the coming periods also. So what kind of GST? Previously it was GST 1.0 now. In the previous year, we have introduced GST 2.0. So in between that there are several versions, several amendments, several changes. Okay, in the structure as well as in the policies, as well as in the system, in the mechanism, in the return filing mechanism, in the forms, etc. So there are several reforms taking place. Let us look into that. The second one is to identify the nature and extent of digital transformation taking place by virtue of the GST. So to what extent this has transformed our system into a digital world, a digital business ecosystem. Okay, so let us look into that also. And finally, to assess the scope and nature of the cooperative federalism existing in India, as we know that GST, a better example of this cooperative federalism or fiscal federalism is or has possible because of the introduction of the GST. So let us also look into that. So next slide please. Okay, next slide. Please move the next slide. So let us see about the idea of the introduction of GST. Just a synopsis of the genesis of GST. Okay, as we are all aware that it was suggested by, it was propounded by a Gounder committee, which was a task force in indirect taxation created in the year 2000. So Government of India created a task force to look into the matters of reforms and restructuring of indirect taxation in India, and it is headed by Gounder, and this Gounder task force has actually recommended for bringing a unified taxation in India, that is in the form of GST. So the objective was to replace the prevailing complex and fragmented tax structure within a unified system and simplify compliance, reduce tax cascading and promote economic integration. So, way back in 2000 onwards, we are trying to introduce a new system of indirect taxation. So, the Empowered Committee of Finance Ministers of different states under the chairmanship of Asin Das Gupta was formed to prepare a discussion paper in 2009, and after making so much of intense deliberation, they have submitted their report, and Constitutional Amendment was introduced in 2011. But it faces several challenges and resistance from the ministers from different states, and unfortunately it couldn't came forward. So this is the initial stage. Then, after 3 years of deliberation and negotiation between central and state governments, the Constitution Amendment Bill 22nd Amendment Bill was introduced in the Parliament in 2014, and finally it was passed in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in the year 2016. This is the roadmap for the introduction of the GST. Now it came into force. GST Council was established on 12th September 2016, and it was introduced on pan-India basis from 1st July 2017. So this is the genesis of GST. So salient features, as we know that you are all studying GST, and therefore I may not spend too much time on this. It is a one nation, one market and one tax concept was introduced. Then it subsumed around 17 different taxes in India, and again also the 13 cesses into a unified tax called GST. And there is in India we follow the dual structure of GST, dual GST system. That is, the central government as well as state government are both charging tax simultaneously. Central government charges CGST, whereas the state government charges the SGST or the UTGST. UT is a united tax. There is a destination-based tax system. One of the important features of GST is that it is a consumption-based tax, where the benefit of tax goes to the state where it is actually consumed. Therefore, it is called destination-based consumption tax, and the principles and mechanism were devised accordingly. Then, a seamless flow of input tax credit was introduced. By virtue of this GST, in the previous VAT regime, what happened is that some amount of tax credit is available to the business people, taxpayers, in the case of central sales tax. But state governments are not providing that. Again, from one state to another tax, there is no provision for moving credits. So because of that, there are several problems related to the tax on tax system. That is called cascading. So in order to avoid that, we have introduced a seamless flow of ITC, here input tax credit, all across the supply chain. Okay? And what do you mean by that? So, from the producer to the end consumer, all the parties intermediaries in the supply chain will be available, will be provided with the input tax credit, benefit of input tax credit. So they can thereby reduce their cost, operational cost. So the seamless flow of input tax credit was devised, and there are certain concepts introduced as per GST called supply. And the supplies are, there are exempted supply, then it is also called as new-rated supply, then zero-rated supply, and non-GST supplies. So students, please, can you identify what is the nature of this exempted supply means? What is supply? In GST, instead of calling it as a sale or purchase, we call it as inward supply and outward supply. So the term supply was introduced, and these supply are categorized into taxable supply, exempted supply, zero rated supply. Here, then again non-GST supplies. So let me ask you, or let me get your answer from you, that what is a non-GST supply? Supply of those items in which GST is not applicable, GST is not charged. Here, can you identify any one of the products which are categorized as non-GST supply? Let me have an interactive session, that's why I am asking. Are you able to answer? A non-GST supply? இங்க இருக்கிற எல்லா பொருளும் நமக்கு GST கொடுக்க வேணுமா? That is, some of the goods are not charged with GST. GST is not applicable to such products. Can you name any of such products? Yes, petroleum products, petrol, diesel. Here, these petroleum products are kept outside the purview of the GST, and therefore it is called as non-GST supply. Here, so there are non-GST supplies, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, petroleum products. So these are all kept outside, therefore they are called as non-GST supply. Then again, the zero rated supply. What is zero rated supply? These are supply in which the tax rate of the tax charge is kept as zero. Here, can you identify which supply is called as a zero rated supply? Oh, before coming to that, what do you mean by a nil rated supply or exempted supply? Supply of goods and services which are exempted from GST. No GST, zero GST, not tax return, food grains, milk, fish, vegetable, like. So these are the items, essential ingredient, necessary items for which there is no tax payable. Here, so these are called exempted supply or nil rated supply. Here, then what is zero rated? Again, tax charge is 0%. And what's the difference between these two, nil rated and zero rated? Is there any difference? In the case of nil rated supply, exempted supply, there is no GST payable. Here, again, zero rated supply is a supply in which 0% charge of GST. Then why there is two classification, two categorization? Both are same? These two are same? No. There are some differences. And what is the difference? So, the zero rated supply is a supply in which input tax credit is available even though GST is not charged. GST is kept as zero, but input tax credit, that is tax already paid by the businessman for his inward supply, for his purchase, can be claimed as tax credit. Here, so this includes this supply. Examples of such supplies are export supply. If a businessman is exporting goods, it is called zero rated. Here, then again, supplies to some development zone, SEZ units, SEZ area. Here, so again, these supplies are zero rated. That means there is no GST charge on outside outward supply, but the input tax credit on the inward supply can be claimed by the businessman. Here, that is a distinction. For nil rated supply, exempted supply, we can't get input tax credit. There is no input tax credit available for that. Then, the short exemption and compensation scheme of QR and fish scheme, as you are all aware that in order to easify the small business people from the burden of paying tax, from the burden of tax compliance, government has kept certain limit or compulsory registration of GST. And what is the threshold limit? As we are commerce and economics students, we tell what is the exemption limit, threshold limit for GST registration? It is 40. Somebody has that. Okay, 40 lakhs. Okay, so 40 lakh rupees for the goods. Okay. So up to which annual turnover, aggregate annual turnover of 40 lakh are traders or business people having aggregate annual turnover of 40 lakhs are not able to get the GST registration and pay GST. So they are kept outside. Okay, so that small business people and MSME sectors are benefited. Then compensation scheme again in order to easify the process of tax compliance. Okay, then small traders and business people having an aggregate annual turnover up to a certain limit, say for example 1.5 crore rupees, up to that they can avail, they can opt for a compensation scheme where they need not collect tax from the public consumers, but they have to remit a marginal tax based on their turnover to the government. Say for example 3%, 1.5%, 1% of their total turnover, or 5% of their total turnover. So like that, a small marginal percentage is charged on the total turnover. They need not keep any registers. They need not keep any. They cannot collect tax from the consumers, so that their burden is reduced. So this for the reduction of this burden, compensation scheme was introduced. Then again for QRLP scheme, again for taxpayers having annual turnover up to a certain limit, they are provided with an opportunity, an option to file their return on quarterly basis, but they have to pay their tax on monthly basis. This is called QRLP scheme. Again, the burden of return filing periodically, monthly basis can be reduced, can be easified. So that is the objective of introducing QRLP scheme. Then online compliance, then registration, return filing, tax payment, communication between taxpayer and the department, revenue and the taxpayer, all these are taking place online through a platform, through a portal, common portal, GST common portal. So that is another check. Then anti-profiteering measures were introduced so that business people are not taking profit on account of the changes in the GST rates. Then increased compliance and transparency was ensured throughout the introduction of GST. Next slide. So, in order to have a comparative look into the what is previous regime, so you might have a doubt that what actually transformed, what made GST a transformational effect on the business. So to know that, let us compare what is the previous regime and what is the new regime. What is the limitations and effects of the previous regime and what merits of the new regime. Yeah. So let us please look into the slide. What are the limitations and what are the merits? Yeah. So in the previous regime, the system was inefficient and administration, tax administration was by and large corrupt and inefficient, ineffective. Proper paper-based manual processes are used for all the purposes. Then cascading effect of tax was there. Then charging of double tax, sales tax, VAT on the one hand, the same goods was charged by service tax again. So this kind of double taxation was there. Multiplicity of tax laws existed in different states, different forms, different rules. Here, these are all the complexities. Then again, disparities and differences in the tax laws in the states. So, one law is applicable to a particular state. If we go to another place or another state, if we are having business in several states, we have to understand multiplicity of laws having differences and disparities. This is one of the limitation. A lack of transparency in the previous regime, VAT regime, and widespread corruption and bureaucratic excess and red tapeism in the manual VAT regime. Then large scale of tax evasion was experienced in the VAT regime, and high compliance scores was experienced by business people and fixed working hours for services. So in order to get service done by the department revenue, we have to approach in the working hours. Business people need to approach at the working hours. So that is also another limitation. So, and all these are being overcome, transformed by virtue of the GST. And what are such changes, merits? One is efficient and effective, robust system, avoids cascading effect, avoids double taxation, unified tax laws all over the country, online processes and services for all kinds of service delivery under the GST system. Then transparency, tax administration and compliance was ensured by way of status checking on providing dashboard facilities, tracking facilities, online communications here, and thereby transparency was by and large ensured. Little scope for corruption and nepotism was again made possible because of it was an online system, web-based system, automated processes, and human intervention were very limited. Little instances of tax evasion and widening of tax base was happened. Here, around 65 lakh registered taxpayers in the VAT regime has now transcended to around 1.61 crores of taxpayers under GST. So, the introduction of GST has witnessed widening of tax base. Then, less compliance cost was also one of the feature of one of the merit of the system. Okay, next please. Then, we have introduced GST 2.0, isn't it? During 2000, in the previous year 2025, during September 22nd, Government of India prompted, actually it is prompted to introduce GST 2.0 in an early, at an earlier period. Even though there are discussions going on for the rate rationalization in GST, simplification of the processes, etc. among the group of ministers formed in the GST Council, but certain events that have taken place internationally, especially as our principal has talked about the geopolitical situation and trade war that has emerged as a result of Mr. Trump has taken the office of President of USA, and he has imposed tax on several countries including India, the reciprocal tax. So in order to counter that, in order to make up our economy is at least sustained to the able effect of this reciprocal tax, government has suddenly responded positively and introduced a reform measure by way of the GST 2.0. And these are some of the pillars, 7 pillars of GST 2.0, the latest reforms. Okay, can you read out? Are you able to read it in class? Are you able to read? No. So what is the first pillar? Building on success of GST. Here, so as one nation, one tax, expanding the tax base, like simpler two-tier system. So when GST 1 was introduced, our tax structure was, how many tax slabs are there in the previous regime, previous system, GST 1.0? There were basically 4, clear, and it was now reduced to 2, clear, two-tier tax system. Then, number 2, rationalizing rates for fairer taxation. So, rates were rationalized, some of the items which were in the 5% category were moved into the exempt category, and it has made nil, clear, nil rated, and again, 12% was reduced to 5%. About 99% of the items containing the 12% was moved into the either moved into the 5% category or exempted from the GST. Then simplifying filing through technology. Technology-based several interventions were made after the introduction of the GST 1.0. That is, it is an evolving system, as we are all known that during the initial period of GST introduction, due to its infantile nature, there are several issues, challenges, problems, technological issues that has taken place. So, the system is correcting itself by making appropriate amendments, appropriate changes, interventions, etc. in the system as well as in the policy front. Clear? So, we have introduced e-learning system in order to counter some of the negative effects of GST that was happened, that was experienced during its initial period. Clear? Then again, e-invoicing facility was made mandatory for certain classes of business. Previously it was 100 crore, now then reduced to 50 crore, up to 50 crore e-invoicing was mandatory, then 10 crore, now it is 5 crore, up to 5 crore and above, annual turnover above 5 crore. Business people are going to have mandatory e-invoicing. Yeah. Therefore, e-invoicing, AI-driven risk detection, and this is used by GST administrators for tracking data, measuring risk on GST, GST collection, etc. Then, putting consumers first become another major point. Then, fifth one is empowering MSMEs and manufacturers, and sixth pillar is the stronger states and stronger Bharat. This was a motto, this was one of the principles that was put forward by the government at the time of introduction of GST 2.0, and lower tax means higher spending. As I have already pointed out, during September, before the Diwali season, we have introduced this system, GST 2.0, in order to increase the domestic consumption, in order to increase the domestic demand and consumption, thereby facilitating our business for the loss of their export. Yeah, that is the concept, and therefore lower tax government assumed that higher spending will be there, higher sales will happen, and thereby goods will be sold. Okay, then next generation GST. So what will be the next generation GST features? How it benefits to all? So lower price, higher demand, then again support to MSMEs, given importance, ease of living and ease of doing is made possible, voided tax rate is ensured, then support for manufacturing work undertaken by the Government of India through several measures, that revenue growth was ensured, that economic momentum was introduced, then again social protection was being viewed. Okay, next please. So key reforms in 2.0. What are the key changes? Rate has reduced and several items were moved to the exemption category. Essentials and consumer items were brought down either to the new rate or reduced to 5% slab rate. The rate of electronic appliances were brought down to the 18% from the previously 28%. Rate of two-wheelers and small car in the automobile sector again was reduced from 28% to the 18% slab, and GST on insurance premium for life and health for individuals were exempted. This is another impetus to the insurance sector. Then GST on medical and health items, healthcare items and devices were made either nil or reduced to 5% slab. And again for pharmaceutical medicines, several pharmaceutical medicines were made under the exempted category. Then GST on services such as gymnasium, saloons, hotel stay up to 7,500 per day events were brought down to 5%. Then GST rate rationalization. Now for a comparative purpose, previous was the GST 1.0 slabs and below is the GST 2.0 slabs. So you can have a comparison. So what actually changed in the GST 2.0 as part of GST 2.0 reform? How the rate has changed. Here, so previously there were mainly 4 slabs, now it has reduced to 2 slabs. Then normal rate, normal slab for services again. There are several services rates for different services, and therefore around 6 slabs are there. Now it has again reduced to 2 slabs. Then export and SEZs were zero rated. Previously also 0 rated, now also 0 rated. Composition levy, there is no change in that. Again, special rates, there is no change. Okay, so slabs were reduced. It become a 2-tier slabs. Okay, next one. So this is the first form, the first aspect of my presentation, that is called how GST reform has made visible changes in India in the ecosystem of business in India. Clear? So the second part is called a digital transformation. How, to what extent, how far the introduction of GST has resulted into the transformation to the use of this technology, ICT. Clear? So let us look into that. And one of the key aspect of this digital transformation as a result of GST was made possible because of the GST. Can anyone answer the expansion of GSTN? What is GSTN stand for? GSTN. Goods and Service Tax. N stand for network. Goods and Service Tax network. Clear? So GSTN was a special purpose vehicle. Previously, it was a special purpose vehicle formed as a private-public partnership between certain private entities as well as governments. But during the initial years, due to some problems faced in that structure, Government of India decided to make it as a fully owned government enterprise. And thereby, it has changed into a Section 8 company. Clear? And now it is fully controlled by the ownership of government, central government as well as state government. Okay. So GSTN is supposedly a technological backbone. The entire technological services under GST regime, GST system was entrusted in the hand of Goods and Services Tax Network. Clear? And it is being given the task of monitoring, designing, developing, and making implementation of software tools, then keeping database, etc. All that technological aspects were looked into by the Goods and Service Tax Network. So it is an online process and service delivery through GST Common Portal was made possible. Then GST Knowledge Portal for educational training was developed. There is a knowledge portal available, and it is also created by virtue of the GSTN. Even though it is designed and developed by Infosys. Infosys is the MSP, Managed Service Provider of GST. They are working under the GSTN. GSTN supervises Infosys for its design and development. Taxpayer self-service portal was facilitation for support in order to provide certain information to the taxpayers. Who are the taxpayers? Taxpayers are business people, and therefore to facilitate them, to assist them, giving some certain information to them, and providing certain limited knowledge-based services, a self-service portal was created. Then AI-based chatbot services are provided, call centers, help desk, facilitation centers, etc. provided. Then automated complaints and return filing system was made possible, and because of the GSTN and the return filing facilities, tracking, its report generation, auto-population of data, etc. all were rooted here, systematic. Then consistent updation and simplification of returns and forms. And as I have already mentioned to you that GST is an evolving system, and therefore when we have introduced GST, here several changes are required, several modifications and simplifications are required, and subsequently we have changed several returns. That is why previously for in outward supply we are having GSTR 1 there, and this GSTR 1 was again now we are having GSTR 1A for any correction. So another return was created subsequently around 2024 for correction in the GSTR 1 data. So this is an evolution, changes, modification. Then again, for inward supply, Previously it was GST 2. Simply GST 2. And because of certain complaints raised from the taxpayers, GST authorities and GSTN decided to modify. So we came across with the GSTR 2A subsequently, which is a dynamic return of all invoice supplies auto-populated from the return filing of GSTR one of our supplies. Then again, there are certain limitations to the GSTR 2A. Therefore, again, GSTN has decided to modify its return. Now there is a GSTR 2B, which is not a dynamic return, and it will get freeze, data freeze on 14 when it is filed. Here, thereby, constant modifications are there. Again, in the case of GSTR 3, so previously only one return GSTR 3 for a summary return for payment of tax monthly basis. Now then they have modified to GSTR 3A. Then now we are having GSTR 3B. So an extended version, refined version of returns and form, etc. were deliberately ensured so that the system is easified, complaints are reduced, and business are feeling ease of doing their business. Here they can concentrate on mainly on business rather than going for their tax complaints related matters. Okay, then AI-driven analytics were carried out by the administrations. The data-driven decisions were taken by administration, and e-way-based system was introduced, and it facilitated free movement of goods across India. Yeah. So, if the goods is transported from one state and it passes through several states, by virtue of the e-way system, here there is a free movement of goods without hassle. Hassle-free movement of goods were made possible, ensured because of the e-way system, and also the data from the e-way system are integrated to the GST system. Thereby, it will be automatically auto-populated and it will get facilitated by auto-capturing of data from the e-way system. Then, e-invoicing was made. I have already told you relating to the e-invoicing. So, our taxpayers having aggregate annual turnover of 5 crore are now required to have e-invoicing, and e-invoice data will be automatically matched to the returns. Yeah, so automatic matching of e-invoicing also there. Then invoice management system IMS were recently introduced around 2024. We have introduced invoice management system. So there are several complaints raised by taxpayers regarding the ineligibility of input tax credits, not getting input tax credit, or credit available by the business people but denied by the tax authorities. So to solve such a problem, there is a facility was introduced that is called invoice management system. So now taxpayers can view what are the invoices that are coming under their name and GSTIN. Clear? So they can either accept that invoice or they can reject that invoice. If it is not applicable, they can reject it, or they can keep it as pending for the next period, so that the problems and issues related to ITC availment, ITC utilization can be solved. So this is another. Invoice furnishing facility was made for the QRMP scheme. QRMP scheme already you are aware, and I have already stated that it's a monthly payment of tax, but returns are filed in quarterly basis. So taxpayers, normal taxpayers are not getting the benefit of ITC. So to avoid that, again we have made a refinement in the system, and we have introduced IFF facility. Thereby, QRMP scheme opters can have a small software version form in which they can submit all the B2B invoices. What do you mean by B2B? Business to business invoices. So business to business B2B invoices can be furnished by way of IFF facility, so that the data in such invoices IFF will be used for ITC calculation and ITC availment. Okay, then GST Suvidha providers is another transformation, and they have created several accounting software related to GST. They have provided certain utility that can be used, offline utility that can be provided for uploading of returns. Then again, facilitation softwares, utilities, etc. for the purpose of easifying GST. Digital transformation again, previous slide please. Auto calculation and auto population of data and its reflection in the genuine returns were made possible, and logically arranged types and tables in the returns will help the business people to have a logical flow of the data comparison, and thereby they can easily file their return, and possibility of reconciliation and verification is made possible by way of providing several reports. Then online payment of tax, then multiple payment options, UPI, net banking, card payment, etc. can be used for paying tax online. Electronic cash ledger, electronic credit ledger, and electronic liability ledgers were introduced, and you are all aware of that, and therefore I am skipping that. Then availability of historical records and data is available in the GST portal. Possibility of generating reports and statements are there. Provision of authority for advance ruling and appellate authority were created for if there is any clarification, doubts or lacuna related to the GST law provision, different interpretation, then they can ask for a clear answer, clarified version from the GST authority, and therefore for that purpose AAR and appellate AAR were created. Then messaging and communication were made automatically, meaning that messages, emails were instantly delivered in each stage of service delivery, and possibility of status tracking was provided. Taxpayers dashboard for a concise information all the transactions. Then two-factor authentication and login and service requests were made mandatory, and high-end relational database and data aggregation and retrieval system were made possible because of several changes and modifications made in the GST software. Integration with the other system and database of government were made possible, and high-end data security measures were taken. This is what the digital transformation aspect of GST. So previously we have seen the GST reformation taking place in the business as a result of GST. Then we have the transformation, how the business, the process and services and where the business are making their tax compliance has transformed over the years. And finally, the third aspect of my presentation is that to what extent cooperative federalism can be viewed or can be seen in under GST here. So the cooperative federalism, as we know that this is a definition here where the sender as well as the state are cooperating each other, communicating with each other, deciding together for deciding or for deliberating all aspects related to the taxation, revenue, cost, expenditure and related matters. So this cooperative federalism was one of the integral aspects of our constitution, even though even the Supreme Court and some other constitution expert doesn't agree that Indian constitution was not truly federalistic in characteristics. Here there are several differences of opinion on that, but the features of cooperative federalism includes that is intergovernmental relations, shared responsibilities and institutional mechanism. So the traditional approach of federalism that sees competition and cooperation at lower heads is no longer relevant. Post 1990s, that is after liberalization, after globalization, this is not possible. Then a combination of the cooperative and competitive spirit or competitive federalism is required for economic prosperity, economic growth and prosperity of business also. Then horizontal and vertical level of cooperation were ensured, and this includes fine-tuning of developmental measures for desired outcomes, development-related policy decisions, welfare measures, and administrative reforms. Okay. Some of the examples of cooperative federalism was listed. Here, next. So, cooperative federalism, this is what I have previously stated. Supreme Court in a verdict has stated that Indian Constitution was quasi-federal, not completely federal. Clear? So, GST Council was made as a recommendatory body, and therefore, recently in 2024, Supreme Court of India has clearly stated that in a petition, clearly stated that GST Council, being an authority formed by central government and state government, were only recommendatory nature. Government can either accept such recommendation or they can reject such recommendation. It is not binding on them to accept all the recommendations made by GST Council. Here, this is what Supreme Court has said. Then, decisions are not binding on state. State can legislate with their own powers and make amendments in the law with their own legislative capacity. Then, Parliament and state legislatures have exclusive power to legislate, and various subcommittees were formed. So, in order to make GST Council as a consultative body, a cooperative endeavor of both central and state, several measures were taken, and one of them was, in order to have a participatory approach in the policy making, decision making, etc., group of ministers were formed into different committees. Some of the committees are mentioned there. Okay, revenue mobilization, revenue analysis, compensation cess, health and life insurance area, and rate nationalization, real estate sector. So, in all these areas, group of ministers consisting of ministers from different states were made into a committee, and committee will deliberate on all such matters and will make a recommendation to the council whenever they are meeting. And based on their deliberation recommendation, GST Council will take a decision finally and will recommend to the government. Here, the committees and functioning under the GST Secretariat. Then, the previously was a committee and forum of ministers, whereas another committee, another structure was created as different committees on several matters concerning GST among the state level administrators, GST administrators and central administrators. Here, and these are all several committees for that. Fitment Committee, Law Committee, GST Implementation Committee, Governance Redressal Committees in states, then Grievance Redressal Committee in states, then State Coordination Committees, etc. Here. So, what is the purpose of creating all this committee? To make GST a cooperative endeavor, not a unilateral endeavor of the central government, nor a unilateral endeavor of the state, but it is a cooperative endeavor. So that a consultative process, in order to have a consultative process, several committees of officials as well as committees of group of ministers were made. Then, intense discussion and deliberations in the council before taking decision. And there are 56 such meetings has already taken place. In March or April, we will have the 57th meeting of GST Council. Here. And how voting will take place in GST Council? So, in order to pass, in order to decide a particular matter on GST Council, 3/4 majority in the council was required. Here. And GST Council Act specific or regulation related to the GST Council specifically state that the voting pattern between center and state were given in the ratio of 1/3 for the central and 2/3 for the state. Here, so 33.33% for the weightage were given to the center, and center is represented by way of Finance Minister and Minister of State for Finance at the central government. Here, and every state, each and every state in India are able to nominate either their finance minister or another minister to represent their state in the GST Council. Here, so this is what. Then, how many states are there in GST? GST Council, how many states are representing? 28, 29, 31. What is your answer? How many states are in India? In general, political states? Okay, so around 31 states are there. Here, 21 states plus 3 union territories having legislative powers, legislative assemblies functioning in it. Here are given the status of state. So, the GST law considers such union territory with the legislature as equivalent to a state. Therefore, 31 states. Here, this is what? So, GST and the center-state financial relations. Here. So, there is a GST comprising of central GST. GST system follows a dual structure, and therefore both central government as well as state government are able to levy tax. And central government tax is called CGST, and the other is called SGST or UTGST, whatever it may be. Then again, for interstate trade, we levy the IGST. And there are separate legislations available for all these CGST Act, SGST Act, and the IGST Act are available to regulate such levy. Then, the terms of revenue distribution and the GST Council plays a crucial role, and it is a joint forum consisting of union as well as state, and the council makes decision on various aspects such as including tax, deciding on the tax rate, accepting certain items from the tax slab, then revenue sharing between central and state, then accept some items from the GST, and all such decision. And if there is any difference of opinion, quarrel or dispute between state or between state and center and between state, all these are all decided by the or being discussed in the GST Council meeting, and appropriate solutions were made possible here. So, if there is any cooperative federalism existing, so we can see, we can verify, we can validate our answer by looking into all the 56 meetings that has taken place previously here. So in all the 56 meetings, except one meeting, the other 55 meetings were decided. Many of the aspects were discussed, deliberated, decisions were taken, recommendations were made, slabs were changed, items were changed to one slab from one slab to another slab. But it was decided unanimously without any opposition here, because of the 3/4 majority requirement. In order to pass a resolution in the GST Council, we require support of here majority of state as well as the center. Here, without the possibility of support from center, we cannot pass a resolution, decide a matter on the GST Council. And again, without the support of majority of states, a decision cannot be taken in the GST Council. Okay. So previous slide please, the last part. So only one meeting in 2019, when a matter came before the GST Council for imposition of 28% GST on lottery, state-run lottery. And in that meeting, Kerala government, the representative of Kerala government, Finance Minister of Kerala, has asked for voting, division of votes. They are not agreed that 28% GST need not be charged on state-run lottery, and therefore they asked for a division of votes. All the previous meetings were carried out taken unanimous decision, but in 2019 they asked for a division, and it is the only meeting where the voting has actually taken place here, and it was bent in favor of the central government. 21 states agreeing, as well as central is also agreeing, and therefore meeting was decided to impose 28% on state lottery, and the motion moved by Kerala government and other states were rejected here. So we indicate that there are cooperative federalism, some kind of cooperation, some kind of cooperative philosophy and cooperative mindset existing among the various state as well as the center. Okay? So this is my conclusion. So after having a conceptual discussion of these three topics, GST reform, digital transformation and cooperative federalism, we can find that indirect taxation reforms by way of the GST has brought significant changes in the ways and means of tax compliance and tax administration in India, and the digital transformation on account of the GST regime has realistically provided the greatest virtue of ease of doing business in India. Is it clear? Am I true? Because of the GST, introduction of GST here in 2020, when the World Bank published the EODP ranking of countries, our EODP ranking of India has moved from 142nd position from the 63 position. Here, so tremendous improvement in ease of doing business, and among the ease of doing business framework for any purpose, tax compliance and tax administration is one of the important criteria for judging, for marking and evaluation, and therefore after GST has been introduced and normalized its function, our EODP ranking was witnessed a tremendous progress. Then, the principle of cooperative federalism is realistically practiced in its letter and spirit and is highly visible in the GST Council meeting, all the GST Council meeting here. So, among the 56 meetings already taken place, in only one meeting, and also that too, only for one matter, actually a voting between members has taken place here. Okay, thank you. If you have any doubt, I can answer for 5 minutes. If you have any genuine doubts, you can ask. Do you need any further clarification on this topic about what I have discussed, either related to reforms or digital transformation or cooperative federalism? Otherwise, we can wind up here. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to give explanation. And thank you for your patient listening. Thank you, organizers, once again.
Thank you, sir. Let us refresh ourselves with a small tea break of 15 minutes. Students, please assemble after 15 minutes.
So you please be seated after 10 minutes. Okay.
அங்கே சொன்னாருன்னா அப்படியே அது அப்படியே கொடுத்துருங்களா வச்சுக்கலாங்களா ஓகேங்களா இபிடி வருது
அவர் நடந்துட்டே இருப்பாரு எம்ஓசி மேக் சார் அவ்வளோதான் பண்ணி கேமரா ஓகே ப்ரோ என்ன பண்ணுறோம் நாங்கள் இவ்வளோ டிபிடி இதுன்னு தெரியும் கேமரா டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இது பண்ண வச்சுக்கோங்க ப்ரோ சரியா இருக்குது ஓகே கொஞ்சம் நேரம் நீ அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு போயிடலாம் முதல்ல கை தள்ளிக்க நீங்கள் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கோம் ஓகேவா ப்ரோ ஸ்டீமர் சாப்பிட்றேன் இன்னும் பையன்
லேப்டாப் ஆன் பண்ணி மினிமைஸ் பண்ணி ஆகும். ஸோ அது மைனஸ் டெஸ்ட்டு அதான் அது வந்து ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு இது ஒன்று தெரியும். இருக்குல்ல போயிட்டு லேப்டாப் ஆன் பண்ணிட்டோம்னு எதுவும் தெரியுது. அவர் இது ஆன் பண்ணால் அவரோட
அதுக்கு 2 பண்ணுறாங்க.
ஆமாம், பின்னாடி கேமரா தெரியும். நம்ம இது மினிமைஸ் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு அப்படியே ஒரு பவர் பாயிண்ட் போய் அவரோட சைடு செகண்ட் ஆப்ஷன் செகண்டு மெதுவாக இருக்கு. வந்துச்சு இவ்வளோதான். இவ்வளோ இப்போ ப்ரோ யூடியூப் இருக்கு. லைவ் தெரியும். குடிக்க மாட்டேன். ஓகேவா மைனஸ் வீடு அப்படியே இது கட்டு
அதை விட்டுருங்க.
பவர் பாயிண்ட் அப்புறம் யூஸ் பண்ணி பேசும்போது சரி அப்படியே மினிமைஸ் பண்ணிவிட்டு ஒரு ஆஃப் பண்ணிடுவேன். லேப்டாப் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு மேலே லைக் பண்ணுவேன். லைக் பண்ணுவேன். சரி
வந்துடுவீங்களா 5 minutes ஒருத்தர் மட்டும் நீங்க பரவாயில்ல எவ்வளோ நிமிஷம் ஆகும் 5 minutes ஓகே
move it. I'm a stop seeing और भी दिस होला अलग दे ना बात वो सही bro தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது அது தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start to the session. Academic seminars play an important role in promoting research and intellectual discussion. They create opportunity for scholars to exchange innovative ideas and learn from experts in the field. The second session focuses on an important theme, digital architecture and reform dynamics under GST. To introduce the distinguished research person for this session, I request Dr. M. Jiva Ma'am, Head and Associate Professor, Department of Banking and Insurance, NGM College, to introduce the speaker. Welcome, ma'am.
Professor Vignesh sir from PG Department of IB and Punesh Kumar sir from UG Department of IB and Mahalingam sir from BBA Department. It's an immense pleasure and great honor that I stand before you today to introduce my guru, my mentor, everything, Dr. Gobi sir, Principal, Government Arts and Science College, Valparai. Gopi sir is an accomplished academician, researcher and administrator who has made remarkable contribution to higher education. Sir is currently serving as a Principal of Government Arts and Science College, Valparai, Coimbatore District, Tamil Nadu. With an illustrious academic and professional career spanning more than 27 years, he has dedicated his life to the advancement of education, research, and academic leadership. His journey in the field of higher education reflects his commitment to nurturing young minds and strengthening academic institutions. Sir is an impressive educational background. He obtained PhD in Commerce from Bhatia University, one of the prestigious universities in Tamil Nadu. Prior to that, he has completed MPhil from Mahalingam University. In addition to his specialization in commerce, he broadened his academic horizons by earning MBA from Bhatia University, which enriched his knowledge in management studies. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in computer application (PGDCA) from Mahalingam University and Master of Commerce from Annamalai University. Sir has extensive teaching has a broad, wide range of subjects in commerce and management. His teaching style is known for his clarity, practical orientation, and ability to connect theoretical knowledge with real-world applications. Over the years, he has guided PhD scholars, 11 completed PhDs, 6 is undergoing, and 11 MPhil completed, and 7 is undergoing. And Sir is a Board of Studies Chairman of Bharatya University for the discipline Commerce with Computer Applications. Apart from his teaching, Sir has been actively involved in research and scholarly activities for more than 2 decades. His research interests primarily revolve around areas such as marketing, finance, digital payments, and emerging trends in commerce and management. He presented several papers in national, international seminar, conference, and workshop, contributing valuable insights to the academic community. Sir constantly encourages students to develop not only academic knowledge but also ethical values, leadership qualities, and social responsibility. His vision is to empower students with the skills and confidence required to succeed in the rapidly changing global environment. Today, we are truly fortunate to have an eminent personality among us. His vast experience in teaching, research, and academic administration will undoubtedly provide valuable insights and inspiration to all of us present here. On behalf of the management, organizing committee, faculty members, and students of BCom Banking and Insurance, I extend our heartfelt welcome to Dr. R. Gopi sir. Sir, we are deeply grateful to him for accepting our invitation and raising this occasion with his presence. Welcome you, sir. Sir, it's indeed a great privilege to have you here with us today. We look forward to your valuable guidance, insight, thoughts, and inspiring words. Once again, I warmly welcome you, sir, and also participants and heads from various departments and faculty members and scholars and students once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Digital transformation has become the backbone of modern governance and economic development. It's my great honor to invite Dr. R. Gopi sir, Principal of Government Arts and Science College, Gounder, to deliver the lecture and share your valuable insights with us, sir. Welcome you, sir.
திடீர்னு கேமரா கட்டாச்சு என்ன பண்ணுறது கல்கஸ்ல இந்த கேமரா கல்கஸ்னா
கேமரா வந்து வெளியே காட்டுச்சு அதே இதே வந்து இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ணலாம்
என்ன சர்ச் பண்ணி எடுக்கணும் ஃபைல் இருக்கும்
இது அப்படியே தூக்கி பார்ப்போம் பண்ணல
வந்து ப்ரோ ஆனால் ஸ்க்ரீன் பக் ஆகுது சிஸ்டமில் பக் இங்கே அப்கிரேட் தெரியல வருது சிஸ்டமில் எதுவுமே தெரியல வருது பிபிடி வரணும் பக் இருக்குது ஒரே நிமிஷம் பக்காக இருக்குது ஒரே நிமிஷம் அதே எடுத்து சார் ஒரே நிமிஷம் பக்கு இன்னொரு பக்கு.
சரி இப்போ வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேஷன்
இப்போ பக்கம் இருக்கு.
நம்ம சைடில் சார் சிஸ்டம் சைடு சரி அது அங்கே ரெடி
லைட் காசு போயிட்டு இருக்கும். தெரியும். சரி பக்கம் தெரியாது. ஆனால் இது வந்து ப்ரோ
அப்புறம் அப்படியே
இந்த ஸ்க்ரீன் வருது இல்லை. ஆமாம் சொல்லணும். லைட்டாக ஒரு பக் இருக்கு.
சிஸ்டம் இதாக இருக்கும் லைவ் டைம் சடவுன் பண்ணல ஸ்லீப் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸ்லீப் பண்ணால் லைவ் ஆஃப் ஆகிடும். ஸ்லீப் பண்ணால் லைவாக இருக்கும். லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் பார்த்து போக முடியாது.
அது பேசிட்டு ப்ரோ லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க. இங்கே பாருங்க சார் ஒரே ப்ளீஸ் விண்டோஸ் கீ ப்ளஸ் பி ஷட் டவுன் பண்ணுங்க. தென் யூ மேடம் அது இருக்கு மேம் இருக்காங்க மேம் இருக்காங்க. லேட்டாக மாற்றேன். ஓப்பன் ஆயிடுச்சு. இன்னும் நோ ப்ராப்ளம்.
ஐகான்
ப்ரோ இல்லை ப்ரோ ரெண்டுமே வந்து டெலிகாஸ்ட் மைக் ஆனில் இருக்குது. மைக் ஆனில் இருக்குது.
லேப்டாப் ஆன் பண்ணலாம்.
லேப்டாப் ஆன் பண்ணலாம். ஃபோன் எடுக்கிறேன் லைவ் கொடுப்பேன்.
இது மட்டும்தான் ஒரு பார்த்துட்டு
சவுண்ட் வரலையா? சவுண்டில் வரும்.
சவுண்டில் ஒரு
சவுண்ட் வராமல்
அவங்க பேசினது நமக்கு இந்த இதில் வெளியிட்ட
மைக் அந்த ப்ரோ இங்கே பாரு ப்ரோ மைக் கேட்கும் ப்ரோ. ஃபோன் எடுக்கிறேன் போயிட்டு
பைக் ஆஃப் பண்ணலாம்.
சவுண்ட் வரலையா? சவுண்டில் வரும். லேப்டாப் ஏன்னா இதுலேயே போட்டுருக்காங்க. இதோட பார்க்கலாம்
கேக்கு லைவ் பார்த்து லைவ்
proud to be here because I am a student come faculty alumni museum faculty members and family members for giving this opportunity to meet you all in this afternoon lunch session. I will through the first aspect because the tax rates are the Commerce HOD Bhagirathi Madam is here, Satyabama is here, they are the tax experts, and moreover, to handle the session in the free lunch hour is very toughest one. Whatever the organizing committee has given me the task that should reach the delegates. And the reach பண்றதுக்கு your cooperation is very much needed. Cell phone எல்லாம் switch off பண்ணிக்கங்க. Just listen. உங்களுக்கு நான் எடுக்கக்கூடிய டைம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 35 to 40 minutes maximum 45 minutes. Okay, ஏன்னா lunch hour சரி அங்கே நான் borrow பண்ணியிருக்கேன். So kindly cooperate. இந்த விஷயத்தை to be simplified நான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து கொண்டு சொல்றேன். இந்த செக்ஷன் முடிஞ்சது பாத்தீங்கன்னா நாளைக்கு வர்றப்போ make a small writing assignment and submit it to the tutors. It will be very much useful for you. Just listen. PowerPoint இங்கே தான் இருக்குது. You get the PowerPoint. It will be very much useful for you. So, let me start. Next slide, ma'am. The actual title given to me is Digital Architecture and Reform Dynamics under GST. Before going to the topic, let us have a time travel to know the complete picture of GST. What is the need for GST? So this we should know. The time travel to 1st July 2017 when the GST was introduced. So you see here, there is a picture for time travel that a truck with goods is coming from Delhi to Chennai with goods. You think of this situation and what are the processes that are done in both the periods that we should look into on. One is the next slide. First one is next slide. Before the date, you can see that what are the things that happened. First one is what they should do. This has to cross, the truck has to cross lot of state borders, lot of checkposts. There will be lot of formalities in carrying, making the good to reach Chennai. Okay, this, the first hurdle that they will be meeting is they have to have physical verification of documents. Second one is they have to pay tax. In each state checkpost they have to pay tax. And moreover in everywhere there will be inspections. So this will cause lot of burdens to the driver. So the transit will be delayed. The logistic cost also will increase. So that's புரியுதுங்களா? அந்த காலத்துல அதாவது 2017 this was the situation. ஒவ்வொரு டைம் அந்த ஸ்டேட் பார்டர்ஸ் தாண்டறப்போ there will be lot of delay. This will increase the logistic cost. Okay, then the logistic cost will fall at the consumers. Now, after the introduction of this GST, there is a drastic change that took place. இங்க வந்து என்ன ஆகுது அப்படினு பார்த்தோம்னா GST வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த பீரியடுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன ஆகுதுங்க physical checkposts disappeared. Physical checkposts வந்து இல்ல. கேரளா நம்ம பாத்தீங்க physical checkposts வந்து இல்ல. Everything became digital documents. And third one is every transaction is verified online. What is the ultimate result? No delay in transit. For example, if the transit when an apple is transported from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, they will give a time of 3 to 4 days to reach Tamil Nadu. Okay, I mean, how precious the time is. Think of it. Okay, the important thing is the reduced logistic cost. Waiting irukadu, driver pay risk eduthu vediyilla. So these things came out. This is an initial need. This is an initial need. Okay. So next. Yes. Now we are in unified tax system. It was introduced in 1st July 2017. This has reduced 17 indirect taxes and 13 cesses. And there is a concept that the vision of one nation, one market and one tax is possible because of GST. Okay, now we are enjoying that. Next. Now the topic comes. Technology is everything. Before technology, the technological effect has made every sector has put in a good place. Every sector is going on in a booming and in a good position because of technology. The impact of technology has been after all the sectors grow. Why not the finance, particularly the tax? So you see here, uniqueness of GST lies not only in tax structure. Last session of Atila, there is a wonderful presentation of Nadu, full coverage. In that, it is, you see, uniqueness of GST lies not only in tax structure but also in technology-driven governance. So, we are moving to our own topic. The technology has changed the way of taxation. Changed the way of taxation in India. Next. This is the thing. Technology has transformed India's taxation system. Next. Which has simplified the taxation. Strengthened the governance as well as connected the nation with a good network. A single database, a single network has connected. The whole nation is under one portal, GST portal. So this is the important thing. That is the digital transformation made simplifies taxation, strengthens governance and connects nation through single digital platform. That is GSTN. It is from GST portal. Next. Now the topic starts. What is digital architecture under GST? It is nothing but it is nothing but a network connecting the stakeholders. Digital architecture network connecting the stakeholders. Stakeholders stakeholders taxpayers. Taxpayers. Second one, digital platforms, financial institutions and government. Okay, these four are the stakeholders. So it is a platform. Digital architecture is a framework that connects all these stakeholders. Okay, the main thing is GSTN. Last time, Sir has mentioned what is GSTN. What is meant by GSTN? Goods and service tax network. Okay, it is a core area. It is a core infrastructure. They maintain everything. Next. You see here, every stakeholder has their own responsibility. First one is taxpayers. What is the role of taxpayers? They upload invoices and file returns. It is their purpose. Next stakeholder. Who is the next stakeholder? GSTN. It is the place where the data are processed by getting the data. So data are collected and they are processed in this particular GSTN. Okay, next third stakeholder. Stakeholder means the users. Third one is central government. For framing the GST policies, the central government gets the full report and data only from this particular portal, as well as the feedback from the taxpayers. Okay, so the central government utilizes it for policy formation and monitoring the whole tax systems. Next one is state governments. It is very much helpful to have tax administration. The state government utilizes it for tax administration. Next, banks. Here, the banks are facilitated, or the banks are integrated for payment of tax. For online payment of tax, the other stakeholders utilize this bank as an intermediary. Next, tax practitioners. They assist the taxpayers to go on with this GST code. Next, technology provider. They prepare ERP systems specifically for this GST. Specifically. So these are the stakeholders. Here are the stakeholders and their roles are specified. Next, this digital reform did not happen in a single day. It has passed out for a lot of phases. The year started from 2017 to at present. You see the phase. First phase. What is the first phase? Implement phase. Here they launched GST. Here in this, they just launched the GST portal. The first phase. You come on to next phase, that is stabilization phase. It is in 2018 the e-way bill has been brought up. E-way bill has been brought up. E-way bill I will explain it. It is nothing but e-way bill and ஒரு விஷயம் சொன்னேன். ஒவ்வொரு இடத்துல தெரிஞ்சு செக்கிங் அப்படின்னு அந்த செக்கிங் பர்பஸ்க்காக இந்த e-way bill வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். அது எங்க இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா what type of goods, what is the quantity, when which transport it comes on. சரி, அந்த வே ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் இது எல்லாம் சொல்லக்கூடியதா வந்து e-way bill. சரி, அது வந்து 2018 they launched stabilization. Next, automation வந்துச்சு. சார் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் சொல்லலாம். at present 5 crores இருந்தாலே வந்து e-invoice வந்து கொடுக்கலாம். E-invoice வந்து என்னன்னா it is a digital document. It is a digital invoice. It is a digital invoice. Okay. Next, in at present வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா we are in AI mode. We are in AI mode. So artificial intelligence compliance monitoring is done in this particular stage. That is the data analysis phase. So there are 4 phases that need to be concentrated. One is implementation stage, stabilization stage, automation stage, and data analysis stage. Now we are in which stage? Data analysis stage. Next, there are a lot of milestones. When we see the milestone, first one is in 2017, GST was initiated. In 2018, e-way bill proceeded. Next, in 2019, GSTR 3B has been introduced. Before that, there are a lot of return filing returns. So, to simplify the compliance, to facilitate the taxpayers, this GSTR 3B has been introduced. So, that's the first step. Next, in 2020, GST e-invoice was introduced. Next, in 2021, QRMP. QRMP means quarterly returns. So, find out. To facilitate the quarterly payments and the return submission, they have introduced this. In 2021, to facilitate the small taxpayers, this was brought up. Next, in 2022, this was expansion of analytic-based anti-evasion monitoring was done, and in 2015, again, this was moved to advanced digital compliances. The milestone you see from 2017 onwards, now it is 2025. A lot of changes has been made. Okay, now we are in 2.0. So these are the milestones of GST after digitalization too. Okay, next. This is GST digital architecture framework where we are going to see it in depth. There are how much layers into this one? How much layers are there in digital framework? Okay, how many layers in there? First layer. What is the first layer? Taxpayer. There are 5 layers. First layer is taxpayer interface. Taxpayer interface. Second one is second one is transaction monitoring system. Third one is digital processing system. Fourth one is financial integration. And last one is government regulation. Okay, the government is a regulatory body. So these are the 5 layers to be taken into account, and we are going to see one by one because they are given only 15 minutes more, so I have to complete it. So let us go to the next slide. Before going to the topic in depth, you see here, I have already said that digital architecture is a network connecting the stakeholders. You see here, this structured framework, what it does? This structured network collects, stores, process, integrate, analyze and report all the tax details in a digital form. Using the digital technology, they do it. First, it collects the information from the taxpayers. Framework, I will be showing one framework. It will be helpful to understand in detail. First, collects, stores, process, integrate, analyze, and at last the report. It entire report to frame the policies. To frame the policies, it aids the government and GST Council to frame the policies. Okay, but the base of this is the infrastructures of Indian indirect taxation system. This is a core infrastructure. This is a core infrastructure to be considered. Next. Now coming to the first layer of the digital architecture. First layer is taxpayer interface. This is the first stage. GST portal, taxpayer, business. That is here the business and the GST portal interacts. One is first one interact. How they are interacted? First one is how they interact. GST registration, how they register பண்றாங்க. அடுத்து என்ன பண்றாங்க? Return file பண்றாங்க. Tax payment பண்றாங்க. அந்த போர்ட்டல் குள்ள போய் நம்ம வந்து கூட interact பண்றோம்ல. Tax payment பண்றோம். Next invoice upload பண்றோம். Next one refund application and so on. These things happens between the taxpayer as well as the portal. We are interacting with that particular system. What is the end result of this? இதனால என்ன ரிசல்ட் கிடைக்குது? The first layerனால என்ன ரிசல்ட் கிடைக்குதுங்க? Tax compliance is made simpler and more transparent. The end result of interaction, since it is digitally made, it is the compliance is made simpler as well as more transparent. எல்லாமே வந்து பார்த்துக்கலாம். So this is the first layer. First layer வந்து interact பண்றோம். இதனால benefit என்னன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா simplified compliance as well as transparent compliance. Okay, next slide போலாமா? Next. Transaction monitoring. முதல்ல நம்ம சொன்ன பாத்தீங்களா கலெக்ட் பண்றோம். சரி அது ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கங்க. சரியா? Transaction monitoring system. இங்க என்ன பண்ணுது? What does this particular layer does? அப்படினு வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படினா ensures transparency. Ensures transparency. சரி அது என்ன பண்ணுதுங்க? Transparency நால ரெண்டு வகையா it makes transparency. One is e-way bill. The second one என்னங்க? E-invoicing system. This is made transparent. ரெண்டுக்கு வித்தியாசம் இருக்குது. First one என்னங்க? E-way bill. அது என்ன பண்ணுதுங்க? Monitors the transportation of goods அதனால what is the benefit, what is the end result of this bill அப்படின்னு வந்து பார்த்தோம் என்னங்க, prevents tax evasion and unreported goods movement. ஒரு இடத்துல ஒரு பொருள் வேற பக்கம் போகுது அப்படின்னா இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ் from Delhi to சென்னை வருது அப்படின்னா it makes the rule. அது வந்து டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணுது. அதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஈவில். அதான் வந்து ஈவில் பில். செகண்ட் ஒன்னு வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா e-invoice. இது என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா it is a document, digital document. Everything will have a unique number and every invoice will have a unique number with QR code. Okay, so this is the second layer. Second layer of the whole part of the what is the second layer main concept in transparency. Second layer main concept of the transparency. Now come to the next slide. Third, data processing. Everything is moving on. Now comes the third one is data processing and integration. Here it performs this critical function and functions and the panel. First one is invoice matching. எங்க இருக்குது e-invoice இருக்குது, கூடவே நாம வந்து கொண்டு வச்சிருக்கிறோம் it matches. சரி, automatically this is done digitally. It is done digitally. First invoice matching is done. Tax liability நாம வந்து கம்ப்யூட் பண்ண முடியும். The tax liability is also computed. Next one, return validation is made. And at the risk analysis also, that risk analysis is also done. Okay, in that process, main and that the heart of the digital architecture. Here everything happens. So what is the end result? Ensures accurate tax calculation and compliance monitoring. So this is a place where everything is validated, everything is analyzed, everything is processed. The end result is a complete monitoring of the whole tax system. Okay, now we have passed 3 layers. First one is layer is taxpayer layer. Second one is இது வந்து process. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி monitoring, transaction monitoring, and the next one is financial integration. It is a place where it facilitates payment of tax. It is a place where it facilitates the payment of tax. Okay. Integrates banking networks to facilitate online taxes. What are the things done there? First one is electronic tax payments, reconciliation the generation of electrical challans and maintenance of electronic challans. Okay, these things happen. What is the end result of this layer? What is the result of this layer? Over layer for result. In the layer, what result? Ensures secure, transparent, and traceable payments, tax payments. This is not comfortable. Many banks pay, but it ensures the payment. Okay, this is the end result. Next, last one. I have already said that whatever we do, whatever the report is together, whatever the feedback is got from various individuals as well as the business or anywhere or any members, the government will consider for policy formulation. Okay, this is the place where to make policies and regulatory decisions. What are the decisions taken? Tax compliance monitoring, audit and enforcement, policy formulation, and revenue forecast for the future. Revenue forecast for the future is also made here. What is the end result here? Improves efficiency and accountability in tax. Okay. So the 5 layers. Assignment the PowerPoint so it will be very much helpful for you. Okay. Now these 5 layers to aim to have good control over the digital. Okay, digital structure of GST. Next. For model partner, the last slide I will show you a framework. First layer taxpayers or business. They enter into GST portal, registration, returns, payments. Next it comes the GST network where the data is processed and invoice is matched. In the invoice, match e-invoice as well as e-bills are matched. Next, after the பேங்க் நெட்வொர்க் போகுது. இதுக்காக பேங்க் நெட்வொர்க் போகுதுங்க. ஃபெசிலிட்டேட் பேமெண்ட் ஆஃப் த டாக்ஸ். அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா ஸ்டேட் அண்ட் சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு வந்து அங்கே வருதுங்க. லாஸ்ட் ஒன்று என்னங்க, பாலிசி டெசிஷன்ஸ் பை ஜிஎஸ்டி கவுன்சில். எத்தனை ஜிஎஸ்டி கவுன்சில் மீட்டிங் அட் பிரசன்ட் முடிஞ்சிருக்குது? எத்தனை ஜிஎஸ்டி கவுன்சில் இதுவரை முடிஞ்சிருக்குது? சார் வந்து அழகா அதை வந்து இம்ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணி சொன்னாங்க. 56 முடிஞ்சாச்சு, 57th வரப்போகுது பேமெண்ட். ஞாபகம் இருக்குதா? நெக்ஸ்ட் சரி, எல்லாம் சரி. இந்த டிஜிட்டல் ஆர்கிடெக்சர் வந்ததுனால what is the impact? சரி, நான் 5 நிமிஷம் சொல்லுங்க. சரி, கரெக்டா 5 நிமிஷம் சொல்லுங்க. what is the impact? கஷ்டம். நான் ஃப்ரீலான்ஸ் பண்ணி பசியோட உட்கார்ந்திருக்கீங்க. அஞ்சு பசி விட வயிற்று பசி ரொம்ப முக்கியம். எல்லாரும் அங்கதான் வந்து யோசிப்பாங்க. சரிங்களா? நான் கரெக்டா 5-6 மினிட்ஸ் வந்துட்டேன். ஒரு நிமிஷம் எனக்கு போகணும். சரியா? என்னாச்சு? Okay, you concentrate பண்ணு. டைம் போயிட்டு. Now, what is the impact of digital GST architecture அப்படின்னு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா, first one, நமக்கு முக்கியமானது என்னங்க? The registered taxpayers have been increased year by year. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, initially in 2017-18, it was around 11,82,000. What is the increase now? It is 1,21,45,000. You see the drastic change. The taxpayers who are registered it has been increased. Okay, first one. Second one, automatically when taxpayers increases, automatically revenue also increases. Revenue எப்படி increase ஆயிருக்குதுன்னு வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா, average monthly GST gross collection is around 1,63,845 crores at present. Average monthly, it is average monthly. Okay, not yearly. It has been increased to this level at in 2025. Next, transparency and permission. Next impact is transparency and accountability. Transparency and accountability. Next one is ease of doing business. ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான business பண்ணி you have to pay a lot. This is also made simplified. Digital product is made simplified. Next, formation of healthy and wealthy economy. Formation of healthy and wealthy. Healthy and wealthy economy should be both healthy as well as wealthy. It should concentrate on all the segments of people. So it should be very much healthy and as well as healthy. Next, automated tax compliance. அதுதான் வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. நீங்க எங்க என்ட்ரி பண்ணாலும் it will be taken to the digital. Next slide. Again, real time transaction reporting. இப்போ போய் உட்கார்ந்து பார்த்தோம்னா நம்ம at present what is the status? அது நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். Next, inter-governmental data share. Every government can have a transfer. Central government as well as the state government, and between the governments also they can share the information. If Tamil Nadu is leading economy, அப்படின்னு சொன்னோம்னா the data will be developed from this particular sector. Okay, portals. Next, last one is fraud detection. What is it? Last one, fraud detection and analysis. It can be easily found. Okay, to conclude. Next, to conclude, the reforms in GST proves that when taxation meets technology, what are the things are going to happen? When taxation meets technology, what are the things to be done? What is the benefit? Governance becomes transparent, efficient, and future needing. That is, whatever the things which we need in future is got from itself. Okay, when technology, that is today, in this today when technology does everything. நம்மளோட அறிவியலைந்து பெருகிக்கிறோம் டெக்னாலஜிக்காக தான். அது ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் we are benefited by a lot of things. Next, this digital architecture is not a reform. It is not only a reform. It is not only a reform. It is a continuous revolution. It is a continuous revolution in Indian economic administration. அது ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. இது reforms நினைச்சதோட இது continuous revolution. Day by day, minute by minute, it changes. Okay, now finance minister and GST council they try a lot. So yeah, to facilitate the taxpayers, the Indian financial administration, nalla varudhu try a lot. Next. Being a future entrepreneur, businessman or financiers or experts, okay, you have a good knowledge or you have a good thorough knowledge on this particular GST forums and GST reforms and have a good future. Thank you, Wonderful. Thank you. One good thing that I can put on it. Take the minds of the people or the students to eyes. They have to travel. If your parents are also teachers also travel. Okay, just review okay, thank you,
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Mr. C.A. Gomadina, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Banking and Insurance, to deliver the oath for this session.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the morning session of this ICSSR SRC sponsored one-day national seminar. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished resource person, Mr. Ramesh sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Government Arts and Science College, Gounder, for delivering an insightful lecture on GST reforms, digital transformation and cooperative federalism. Your valuable insights on GST reforms and digital transformation have greatly enriched our understanding of the evolving fiscal framework. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Gopi sir, Principal, Government Arts and Science College, Gounder, for his enlightening presentation on digital architecture and reform dynamics under GST. My sincere thanks to management and Principal of NGO College for providing us with the opportunity and support to organizing this national seminar. I also extend my appreciation to the Indian Council of Social Science Research, Southern Region, Ministry of Education for sponsoring this academic event and encouraging research on contemporary economic issues. I would like to acknowledge the guests from various departments, faculty members, student coordinators and volunteers whose dedication and teamwork made the morning session successful. Finally, I thank all the participants, academicians, research scholars and students for your active participation and keen interest in today's deliberation. Once again, thank you all for your presence and valuable contribution. Thank you.
Thank you all for your active participation in this session. Without your participation, this event can't be successful. We will meet again in technical session 3 at 1:45 p.m. So students assemble at 1:45 p.m.